My husband was sleeping with my sister for 3 years, so I waited until her wedding reception to burn their entire world to the ground. My name is Autumn. I'm 29 years old. And 8 months ago, I discovered that my husband Brett and my younger sister Vanessa had been carrying on behind my back while I smiled through family dinners like the world's biggest fool. Looking back, I suppose the warning signs were flashing like neon lights in Times Square. I just refused to see them because, who wants to believe that the two people you trust most are stabbing you in the back? Brett and I met at Northwestern University during my junior year. He was this confident business major with an easy laugh and the kind of charm that made everyone in the room gravitate toward him. We got married 3 years after graduation in a ceremony at the Chicago Botanic Gardens. Life felt settled, comfortable. He worked as a brand strategist at a boutique agency downtown. I did web design from our apartment in Lincoln Park. We had our Sunday morning bagel routine at Kaufman's Deli, our Friday movie nights, our annual trip to Michigan's wine country. Nothing spectacular, but it was ours. Or so I thought. Vanessa and I had always been tight. She's 3 years younger, the social butterfly who could befriend a stone wall. Growing up in our Naperville suburb, she was constantly organizing neighborhood block parties and school fundraisers. As adults, we'd grab brunch every other weekend at Wildberry Pancakes, trading stories and inside jokes. She worked as an event coordinator, perfect for her personality, and was constantly posting Instagram stories of beautiful weddings and corporate galas. When Brett and I got married, she basically ran the whole show, and I was grateful to have her support. The thing about betrayal is that it starts small. Tiny shifts you explain away because the alternative is too painful to consider. Brett started working later. A lot later. Big campaign for new athletic wear client, he'd say, stumbling in at 10 p.m. smelling like craft beer and making excuses. He became glued to his phone, taking it everywhere, even to the bathroom. When I joked about it once, asking if he was texting the president, he got weirdly defensive. "Can't I have some privacy?" he snapped. That wasn't like him. Then came the appearance upgrades. Brett, who used to throw on whatever wrinkled polo was closest, suddenly invested in expensive cologne and started hitting the gym at 6 a.m. "Just want to feel better about myself," he claimed. But men don't suddenly discover self-care for no reason. I confided in Vanessa during one of our brunch dates at the Hampton Social. Told her Brett seemed distant, distracted. She squeezed my hand across the table and said, "Every marriage has phases like this, Autumn. He's probably just stressed with work. Don't overthink it." I believed her. Why wouldn't I? She was my sister, my best friend. What I didn't know, what I couldn't have known, was that while she was reassuring me, she was texting him under the table, planning their next secret meetup at the Hilton on Michigan Avenue. But I'm getting ahead of myself. The night everything started to unravel was a Thursday in March. We were on the couch watching some forgettable Netflix series, and Brett was scrolling through his phone with this soft smile I hadn't seen directed at me in months. It was tender, intimate, the kind of expression you save for someone special. "What's so interesting?" I asked casually. He locked the screen immediately. "Just a funny meme from the guys at work." Memes don't make you smile like that. After he went to bed, I sat in our living room with my heart pounding so hard I could hear it. Every instinct screamed that something was wrong. I remembered something from years ago, when we'd synced our Apple IDs to share music and apps. We'd never bothered to undo it. My hands shook as I pulled up the settings on my phone and logged into his account. The iMessage history loaded slowly, and I felt sick before I even started scrolling. There it was. A conversation with Vanessa. At first, the messages looked innocent. Dinner plans with the family. A funny video about wedding planning fails. But as I scrolled backward through weeks and months of texts, the tone changed completely. Inside jokes I didn't understand. Late night good night beautiful messages. And then, a photo that made my stomach drop. Vanessa wearing Brett's Northwestern hoodie. The one he claimed he'd lost months ago. Her caption, "Borrowed this from your closet, hope you don't mind. Smells like you red heart hash." I stared at that photo until my vision blurred. The timestamp showed it was sent at 11 p.m. on a Tuesday, a night Brett claimed he was working late on a presentation. I didn't wake him. I didn't scream. Instead, I kept digging. I found their WhatsApp thread next, and that's where the real evidence lived. Detailed plans for afternoon meetings at the Ace Hotel in River North. Discussions about keeping this away from Autumn and Craig. Vanessa's fiancé. They even had a running joke about how clueless we both were. One message from Vanessa burned itself into my brain. She worked a double shift on that website project. You can come over around 7. I'll make those Parmesan chicken cutlets you love. That was my recipe. The one I'd taught her. Another exchange, from just 2 weeks earlier. Brett almost got caught today. Autumn asked why I smelled like perfume. Vanessa what did you say? Face with open mouth and cold sweat. Brett told her I hugged a client. She bought it lol. Vanessa she trusts us too much. Makes this almost too easy. I took screenshots of everything. Hundreds of them. Messages, photos, calendar entries where gym and client dinner were code for hotel rooms and secret dates. I sent them all to a hidden folder on my cloud storage. For the next 2 weeks, I played the role of oblivious wife perfectly. I smiled at Brett over morning coffee. I hugged Vanessa when she showed me cake samples for her August wedding. I laughed at their jokes during family dinners at my parents' house in Hinsdale. But inside, I was building a case. And I was planning something that would make sure the truth came out in the most spectacular way possible. Before I could execute anything, I had to survive one particularly excruciating event, Vanessa's charity 5K for pediatric cancer research. She'd been organizing it for 6 months, and it was scheduled for a sunny Saturday morning in late June at Grant Park. Vanessa was in full event coordinator mode, wearing her custom Run for Hope t-shirt and carrying an iPad on a lanyard, directing volunteers like a general commanding troops. She looked so wholesome, so genuinely good. The cognitive dissonance between the sister I thought I knew and the woman who'd been sleeping with my husband made me want to scream. Brett signed us both up enthusiastically, unusual for him since he normally avoided organized athletic events. It's for a great cause, he said. Plus, it'll be fun to support Vanessa. Of course he wanted to support her. The morning of the race, I watched them carefully. They were good, I'll give them that. No obvious touching, no lingering looks. But I'd become an expert at reading their secret language. The way Vanessa's hand briefly grazed his arm when she handed him a water bottle. The tiny smile Brett gave her when he thought no one was watching. The way they positioned themselves near each other without being obvious about it. During the race itself, I stayed toward the middle of the pack while Brett and Vanessa took off together near the front. I could see them ahead, running side by side, occasionally laughing at something. At one point, she playfully shoved his shoulder, and he grabbed her hand for just a second to steady her. To anyone else, it looked like innocent fun between family members. To me, it was torture. After the race, during the award ceremony, Vanessa gave a speech about community and family support. None of this would be possible without my amazing family, she said, her voice cracking with what seemed like genuine emotion. Especially my sister Autumn, who's always been my biggest cheerleader, and my future brother-in-law Brett, who helped with so much of the logistics. People applauded. I felt my coffee and bagel threatening to come back up. I excused myself to the bathroom and checked their messages on my phone. Sure enough, they'd been texting during the event. Vanessa you look good in that running gear smirking face. Brett not as good as you. Can't wait to peel it off you later. Vanessa Craig's going to his brother's bachelor party tonight. Autumn's working on that Riverside Medical Center website project. We have the whole evening. Brett I'll bring Thai food from that place on Diversey you like. The Panang curry. Vanessa Perfect. See you at 8 Red Heart Hash. That night was supposed to be our 7th wedding anniversary dinner. I'd made reservations at Monteverde, this Italian place we'd been trying to get into for months. When I got home and reminded Brett, he slapped his forehead dramatically. Babe, I completely forgot. I have this emergency client call tonight. Big crisis with the Hampton Foods account. I'm so sorry. Can we reschedule? I smiled sweetly and said, of course. Work comes first. Then I cancelled the reservation and opened a bottle of wine, alone in our apartment, while my husband ate Thai food with my sister in her Wicker Park condo. Vanessa's wedding to Craig was set for August 17th at the Prairie production venue in the western suburbs, one of those converted barn spaces with Edison bulb chandeliers and Instagram-worthy brick walls. As her maid of honor, I was involved in every detail. Dress fittings at Bella Bianca Bridal. Tastings at Francesca's. Centerpiece decisions at 2 a.m. via frantic group texts. The entire time, I smiled and played my part while secretly planning the most spectacular exposure of my life. I'd spent weeks going back and forth about how to handle this. Part of me wanted to confront them privately, hand them the evidence, and walk away with my dignity intact. But another part, the part that had been humiliated and gaslit for 3 years, wanted everyone to know exactly who they were. The wedding seemed like perfect justice. Vanessa had spent her entire career creating picture-perfect celebrations for other people. She'd poured everything into making this day flawless. What better moment to reveal that her own relationship was built on a foundation of lies and betrayal? I knew it would hurt Craig too, and that bothered me. He was a decent guy, a software engineer at Morningstar who treated Vanessa like a queen and had no idea she'd been sneaking around behind his back. But he deserved to know the truth before legally binding himself to someone capable of this level of deception. I'd want someone to tell me. Someone should have told me. The morning of the wedding, I woke up with an eerie sense of calm. I'd organized all my evidence into a folder on my phone, screenshots arranged chronologically, hotel receipts I'd found in Brett's jacket pocket, even a video I'd secretly recorded of them saying goodbye at Starbucks on Clark Street, a goodbye that included a kiss that definitely wasn't familial. I helped Vanessa get ready at the venue's bridal suite, zipping up her Maggie Sottero gown, fixing her veil, applying the final touches to her makeup. She looked absolutely stunning. "I can't believe this is finally happening," she said, grabbing my hands. "Thank you for being here with me, Autumn. You're not just my sister, you're my best friend. I honestly don't know what I'd do without you." The sheer audacity of those words almost broke my composure. But I just smiled and said, I wouldn't miss this for anything. Brett arrived looking sharp in his charcoal grey suit. When he saw me, he crossed the room and kissed my cheek. "You look beautiful," he whispered. "Want to grab dinner after this? Just us? I feel like we haven't connected in a while." The irony was so thick I could have choked on it. The ceremony was admittedly beautiful. Vanessa and Craig exchanged vows they'd written themselves, full of promises about honesty, loyalty, and trust. I stood beside Vanessa holding her bouquet, watching Craig's face light up as he said "I do," knowing I was about to detonate a bomb in the middle of his happiest moment. When they walked back down the aisle as husband and wife, I caught Brett's eye in the third row. He gave me a warm smile. I smiled back. In 90 minutes, during my maid of honor speech, I was going to destroy both of them. The reception was exactly what you'd expect from a professional event coordinator. String lights twinkled above long farmhouse tables decorated with eucalyptus runners and white roses. A live jazz band played in the corner. Servers circulated with beef tenderloin crostini and champagne flutes. I sat at the head table between Vanessa and Brett's cousin, watching the happy couple cut their 4-tier vanilla cake from Sweet Mandy B.S., watching them share their first Danced at Last by Etta James. Everything was perfect. Soon it wouldn't be. When the DJ announced it was time for toasts, my heart started racing. The best man, Craig's college roommate, went first with a funny story about their Northwestern days. Everyone laughed. Then it was my turn. I stood up, glass of champagne in hand, and the room went quiet. All eyes turned to me. Vanessa was glowing, sitting next to Craig with her hand on his arm. Brett was at a table nearby, watching me with this proud, supportive expression that made me want to throw my drink at him. "Hi everyone," I began, my voice steady. "For those who don't know me, I'm Autumn, Vanessa's older sister and maid of honor. I've been looking forward to this speech for months." Nervous laughter rippled through the crowd. I smiled. Vanessa and I have always been close. Growing up in Naperville, she was my shadow, always following me around, copying everything I did. As adults, that closeness only deepened. She became not just my sister, but my best friend. Someone I told everything to. Someone I trusted completely. Vanessa was beaming, probably expecting a sweet, sentimental tribute. In fact, I trusted her so much that I confided in her earlier this year when I noticed my husband Brett acting strange. I told her about the late nights, the secretive phone behavior, the distance I felt growing between us. And you know what she said? I paused, pulling out my phone. The room was completely silent now. She said I was overthinking it. That I was being paranoid. That every marriage goes through rough patches. Vanessa's smile faltered slightly. I could see confusion creeping into her eyes. What I didn't know at the time was that Vanessa was giving me that advice while actively sleeping with my husband. For 3 years. Gasps erupted throughout the room. Someone dropped a glass. I heard Brett say, "Autumn, don't," but I held up my hand. "I have the messages," I continued, my voice growing stronger. "All of them. Like this one from Vanessa, sent to Brett 2 days ago." I read from my phone, "Can't wait to see you walk down the aisle tomorrow. You'll always be my favorite person, no matter who I'm married to." The room exploded. People were talking over each other. Craig stood up so fast his chair fell backward. "What the hell is she talking about?" he demanded, looking at Vanessa. Vanessa's face had gone completely white. "Autumn, stop. Please." "Or how about this one?" I continued, scrolling. "Autumn's working late on Thursday. Come over at 7. I'll make your favorite dinner and we can finally talk about what happens after the wedding." Craig grabbed my phone from my hand and started scrolling through the screenshots himself. His face turned red, then white, then red again. What happened next was pandemonium. Craig kept scrolling through the messages on my phone, his hands shaking. When he looked up at Vanessa, his eyes were full of tears and fury. "How long?" he asked quietly. Vanessa tried to reach for him, but he stepped back. "How long, Vanessa?" "Craig, please, I can explain." 3 years, I answered for her. According to their messages, it started about 6 months after Brett and I got married. Brett had stood up and was trying to approach me, but my cousin Derek, 6'3" and built like a linebacker, blocked his path. "You need to stay right there, man," Derek said firmly. The wedding guests were in chaos. Some people were crying, others were whispering frantically to each other. Vanessa's friends looked shocked. Craig's mother was being consoled by his aunt. Someone had the presence of mind to stop the jazz band, so the whole venue fell into this awful, tense silence. Craig threw my phone onto the table. "We're done," he said to Vanessa, his voice breaking. "I don't want to hear excuses. I don't want explanations. We're done." He walked out of the venue, and about 20 people, mostly his family and friends, followed him. His father stopped at the entrance and turned back. "We paid for half of this wedding," he said coldly to Vanessa's parents. "We'll be expecting reimbursement for our portion." Then they were gone. Vanessa collapsed into her chair, sobbing. A few of her friends rushed over, but most people just stared. My mother approached me with tears streaming down her face. "How could you do this?" she hissed. "On her wedding day. How could I?" I laughed bitterly. "Ask your daughter how she could sleep with my husband for 3 years. Ask her how she could look me in the eye every Sunday brunch while she was betraying me." My father appeared beside my mother, his face grim. "Autumn's right," he said quietly. "If anyone's to blame here, it's Vanessa." He looked at my sister with something close to disgust. "I'm ashamed of you." I didn't stick around for the rest. I grabbed my purse, kicked off my heels, and walked out of the Prairie production venue barefoot, leaving the ruins of Vanessa's perfect day behind me. My phone blew up immediately. Texts from family members demanding explanations. Voicemails from friends who'd been at the wedding. 3 calls from Brett that I ignored. When I got home to our Lincoln Park apartment, I found the divorce papers I'd had drawn up weeks ago sitting on the kitchen counter where I'd left them. Brett came through the door about an hour later, looking like he'd aged a decade. "Say something," he said. "Yell at me. Throw things. Just say something." I handed him the papers. "Sign these. Then pack your things and get out." "Autumn, please." "Sign them, Brett. It's over. It's been over since the moment you decided my sister was worth more than our marriage." He tried to apologize, tried to explain, but I'd heard enough lies. By Monday morning, he was living with his parents in their Elmhurst house, and I was finally alone in what had been our shared space. For the first time in years, I could breathe. The weeks after the wedding were brutal. The video of my speech made the rounds on social media. Someone had filmed it and it got shared in all our mutual circles. While it didn't go viral nationally, it definitely went viral in Chicago's event planning community. Within days, Vanessa started losing clients. Coordinating forever, her business completely fell apart. Brides were canceling left and right, demanding refunds she couldn't provide because she'd already spent the deposits. Nobody wanted a wedding planner who destroyed her own sister's marriage. The irony wasn't lost on anyone. Brett's career imploded too. His boss, Sharon Kimball, called him into her office after seeing the video. According to a mutual friend, she told him that his moral character didn't align with the agency's values and strongly suggested he resign. He did. Last I heard, he's doing freelance brand consulting from his parents' basement and barely scraping by. Vanessa moved to Minneapolis about 3 months after everything went down. My mother still pressures me to forgive and move forward and insists that family is forever, but my father hasn't spoken to her since the wedding. He told me privately that what she did was unforgivable, and I appreciated his support more than I could express. Craig and I actually stayed in touch, bonded by our shared experience. We'd meet occasionally at the Starbucks on Wells Street, trading updates and dark jokes about our ex-partners. He'd filed for annulment immediately and managed to recover most of the wedding costs. His lawyer was ruthless. About 4 months after everything exploded, Craig and I went from coffee meetups to dinner dates. It felt strange at first, like we were somehow betraying some unspoken rule by finding comfort in each other. But we understood each other in ways nobody else could. We'd both been betrayed by people we loved and trusted completely. Our relationship developed slowly, carefully. Neither of us rushed into anything. We were both too damaged, too cautious. But gradually, over late-night conversations at the Publican and weekend walks along the lakefront trail, something real began to grow between us. I started therapy with a counselor in Wicker Park who specialized in infidelity trauma. She helped me understand that forgiveness isn't about excusing what they did, it's about releasing the hold it has on your life. I'm not there yet with Vanessa or Brett, and I might never be. But I'm working on letting go of the anger that was consuming me. I also threw myself into my work. My web design business exploded after I took on a major project redesigning the interface for a healthcare startup. They were so pleased they referred me to 3 other clients. For the first time in years, I felt proud of what I was building. My apartment in Ukrainian village is small but entirely mine. No memories of Brett, no reminders of the life I thought I had. I decorated it with plants from the farmer's market and art from local galleries. It's a sanctuary. Craig and I recently started talking about taking a trip together, maybe to Nashville or Portland. Somewhere neither of us has been. Somewhere with no memories, good or bad. I don't know what the future holds, but for the first time in years, I'm not afraid of it. I'm stronger than I ever thought possible, and I built that strength from the ashes of betrayal.